Thinking back to the 7th of Montgomery March was I was really ready. We couldn't get out of high school. I was a senior, so my thing was making sure my grades was where I can finish. That was my main thing. And we went to a lot of the meetings and stuff. They have this. They have copies of voter registration. So at that time, we was coming out of high school, and at that particular time, you did not register to vote at 18. You had to wait till you got 21 before you can become a registered voter. So a lot of things happened after the 7th of Montgomery March that wouldn't have happened while we were still in school. My parents were with there, and my daddy belongs to First Baptist. So it wasn't no telling you not to enjoy the prayer because his pastor was Ralph Abernathy. So mainly for them to be into it. Well, our history teacher told us to enjoy it. The principal told us to bring excuses from your parents saying that you can't participate in the march. That was after they passed by the school. They came up one day while our school was in, and then the next day was the day of the march. Well, our teachers were different than we have teachers now. And they told us to really listen, because you have to, knowing what happened in Selma the first time for Bloody Sunday, knowing they had to wait another time to get here, knowing that the people still was registering people to vote and losing their life, I was determined I was gonna be a registered voter. So my teachers, the teachers I've had, pushed us to move forward. My time, like I said, I'm speaking for me, I'm a strictly Black history buff. And I believe in telling our kids where they roots are definitely come from, which is not being taught now because, see, you see too many different things. You can go up on Wikipedia and pull up and Wikipedia says something, but if you're not talking to your relatives, you got to go back and get your elders. You don't talk to your elders, you do not know what it's like, because we grew up saying 1492 Columbus discovered America, and then you have found out now that was a lie, because as it was been stated, I don't know how you can discover something that's always occupied. The route is gone. The street is there, but stuff that was there when you came left St. Jude and came straight down Oak Street, and you turned up on the Fred Gray, then Jefferson Davis, and turned, it was homes there. Coming by the school was business. Business was all up in there. From Ewell Street down to Holt Street, before they gutted all that out and naming streets like Davidson Street, Lula Street, all those streets are gone. They lost a lot of business there. So the trail was nice at that time, but right where you got the Holt Street and Fred Gray now, it was businesses there. That's there. It's nothing there to remember. It's nothing there. It's clear. I remember St. Jude when they had the entertainments and stuff. I was there. That memory is still there. I guess that's why they always go to St. Jude when they react. But anything else on the other side, now you ain't gonna even see the shopping center. That shopping center gone. There's a shopping center right across from St. Jude Hospital. At least I know what it was like since our county commissioners and our city commissioners, councilmen, we have more African Americans in it now, and they are more concerned about trying to preserve what we have left, what little bit we have left. Councilman Isaiah and Council Lady Riley, because those two young people under mine, they are very interested in finding out about it. Want to reserve their sister history. Now, during my time for 70 Montgomery March, we had the guy that was at Whole Street, Wilson. He was good. He was good in both. He was for both of them because his church was mainly for doing the bus boycott, and they were still there for 7 Montgomery March, and then there's Mount Zion, and my particular church, Old Ship. At that time, those pastors were into it. I already got it in my mind that take Lovelace School and make it a museum for the 7 Montgomery March. I thought about that shopping center, but they tore it down completely. So I figured that instead of letting Lovelace School could be a headquarters for the 7 Montgomery March. Thing. They got the Carver building is still up there. I can see a mural showing the buildings that was there before the 7 Montgomery March. Do a murals like starting from Shaw Bakery, going all the way up to Carver Theater, then across the street you had Howard and Howard Funeral Home, you had Lovelace Funeral Home. Even Lee's Funeral Home was on Whole Street at that particular time. I don't recall it, but I can imagine Lee was and Howard and Howard. Her daddy from Philip and Riley, her father worked at Howard and Howard. So they knew a lot of things. But like I said, when the came from, Howard and Howard moved to Jeff Davis down further. Lee moved around the corner, and we had one named Welch. They went out of business. All these was, and then we had on Whole Street. We had back in the day, even the school that named Lovelace. Mr. Lovelace had a funeral home also. Yeah, the guy that Lovelace's lived there. He was a businessman. So, and that lamp, the school you hear them talking about lamp, the L for lamp is Lovelace. Even though the Caucasians don't have them, don't know that. Well, like I tell everybody, I participated in the march, but I walked from St. Jude to the Capitol. So I didn't join the march until it got in Montgomery. So I don't tell everybody I come from Selma. Well, my niece and I was in the march. I had a niece that was sitting on the porch because we came by her house. And she saw us in the march. And so she took off to catch up with us. She was a little girl at the time. But there was 2 ministers behind us. And one of them picked her up and put on her shoulder. I'll never forget that. And took her down there, even though I had to drag her on back home. because didn't get on the bus right. But I remember how it was together with the African Americans and the Caucasians came together as one at that particular time, and not just, okay, y'all came down here and messed up stuff. It was a togetherness. I take that away from me because, like I said, these two ministers picked my niece up and carried her all the way downtown. They were, and I just wanted to, I can't forget that. That's one of my ones I take away altogether, the togetherness part. Because everybody's not, and listening to my pastor, because I used to be very prejudiced in my head. But listen to my pastor, I'm getting better. Because you got to learn, you got to live with people. So how I'm going to carry all of that. I ain't say I got rid of all of it, but how I'm going to carry all that back. And I keep saying I love the Lord. Now these are some of the business that was on Jeff Davis, Fred Gray. You had, see right there it says Original Queen service station. Then you had the Liz that had her barber shop there. And then there was a sweet shop there. And that's as well. Loveless School is. It's on the building, still standing up there. And but it's 100. It was 100 years old in 23. All right. Now the Christian school, and then that thing right there that meant for color.